Yobal Dueñas was born on September 16, 1980, in Havana, Cuba, a city known for producing some of the greatest baseball players in history. From an early age, Dueñas exhibited a natural talent for the game, excelling in baseball's most demanding position: pitcher. Growing up in a country where baseball was more than a sport, it was a way of life, he had access to the best baseball resources, including some of the best coaching in the world. Raised in a family where sports were a central part of daily life, Dueñas quickly found his niche in baseball, joining local youth leagues and quickly making a name for himself as a formidable arm on the mound. In Cuba, baseball is woven into the fabric of society, and Dueñas was no exception in embracing the national pastime. As a teenager, he was identified as a standout talent and began competing at the elite levels of the Cuban baseball system. His fastball, which reached speeds of over 90 mph, along with his sharp slider, made him one of the most promising young pitchers in the country. By the time he was in his mid-teens, Dueñas had joined the Cuban national baseball team's junior squad, where he competed in international tournaments and further refined his skills. These early experiences helped shape him into a polished pitcher capable of dominating against some of the best players in the world. His journey from youth leagues to national competitions in Cuba set the stage for his future career in baseball. Dueñas's reputation grew not just in Cuba but also internationally, as he showcased his skills in the World Baseball Classic and other prestigious international tournaments. His performances on the international stage helped him earn the attention of Major League Baseball scouts. But for many years, he would remain a fixture in Cuban baseball, representing his country and competing against the best in the world. Peak of career. Yobal Dueñas' peak came in the early 2000s, when he was recognized as one of the most talented pitchers in Cuba. During this period, he was considered among the best in the Cuban National Series, which is the highest level of baseball in the country. As a young pitcher, he quickly became a starter for the national team, often taking on the responsibility of being the ace during international tournaments. His success in these competitions, combined with his ability to maintain a high level of performance in domestic leagues, made him a household name in Cuba. However, it wasn't just his success in Cuban domestic baseball that garnered attention. In 2003, Dueñas had a remarkable performance in the World Baseball Classic, a tournament designed to showcase the best players from around the globe. Representing Cuba, Dueñas helped lead his team to an impressive showing, making crucial contributions as one of the top pitchers. His fastball, coupled with his precision control, allowed him to stymie some of the most potent lineups in the world, and his dominance on the mound earned him recognition as one of the tournament's best pitchers. His performance in the WBC was pivotal in continuing Cuba's storied tradition of excellence in international competition. Despite the international success, Dueñas's career was significantly affected by the political climate in Cuba. The restrictions placed on Cuban athletes, including those seeking to defect to pursue careers in Major League Baseball, were significant hurdles for Dueñas and other talented players. While MLB scouts were certainly aware of his potential, the complex political and logistical challenges of defecting from Cuba kept Dueñas in limbo, unable to join the ranks of major league teams for many years. Main achievements. Yobal Dueñas's career achievements stand out both in Cuba and on the international stage. While his peak career moments were largely focused on his time in Cuban baseball, his talent was undeniable, and his achievements remained significant. Cuban National Series success. Dueñas made his mark in the Cuban National Series, where he became one of the top pitchers of his era. He was known for his dominance on the mound, finishing among the league leaders in wins and strikeouts. His success in the series helped solidify his reputation as a future star, not only in Cuba but also internationally. World Baseball Classic performance. Dueñas's standout moments in the World Baseball Classic made him a household name in international baseball. His performances for the Cuban national team were central to Cuba's competitive presence in the event. In 2003, his stellar pitching helped propel the Cuban team to a strong finish in the tournament, further cementing his place as one of Cuba's most talented pitchers of his generation. Cuban Baseball Championship. Dueñas was instrumental in helping his team win several Cuban baseball championships. His pitching prowess played a crucial role in leading his team to the title, and his ability to perform under pressure made him one of the most reliable pitchers in the league. Dominant strikeout numbers. Throughout his career, Dueñas was known for his ability to rack up strikeouts. His fastball, complemented by his sharp slider, made him a strikeout machine, earning him accolades from fans and coaches alike. His strikeout numbers during the peak of his career put him among the top pitchers in Cuba. International recognition. Even as political and geographical barriers prevented Dueñas from competing in MLB, his skill did not go unnoticed by the international baseball community. He earned multiple invitations to participate in all-star events and exhibition games that pitted the best Cuban players against international talent. This recognition further cemented his legacy as one of Cuba's finest pitchers. The last years. Despite his many achievements, Dueñas faced challenges in the latter part of his career, primarily due to the ongoing restrictions placed on Cuban players. As the political landscape changed in Cuba, opportunities for players to defect to play in Major League Baseball increased, but for many players, it was too late for them to take advantage of the opening. For Dueñas, the end of his playing days came in the late 2000s as he began to suffer from injuries, which were exacerbated by the wear and tear of years of intense pitching. The long seasons in the Cuban National Series, combined with his international commitments, had taken a toll on his body. After a few final seasons where he was less dominant on the mound, Dueñas announced his retirement from professional baseball. In his post-retirement years, Dueñas returned to his roots in Cuba, where he took up a coaching role, mentoring young pitchers in the Cuban baseball system. His experiences, both in the Cuban leagues and internationally, allowed him to provide invaluable guidance to the next generation of players. Dueñas's passion for the game continued, as he remained involved in local baseball events, sharing his expertise with aspiring athletes. In recent years, Dueñas has also been involved in charitable efforts, using his status as a former national hero to raise awareness for sports programs and youth development initiatives in Cuba. His dedication to the growth of baseball, both in Cuba and internationally, remained strong as he continued to be involved in various aspects of the game. Legacy. Yobal Dueñas may not have had the opportunity to showcase his talent in Major League Baseball, but his impact on the game, particularly in Cuba, is undeniable. He remains one of the most talented pitchers to ever come out of Cuba, and his performances on the international stage will be remembered for years to come. His work with young pitchers and his efforts to elevate the next generation of Cuban talent solidified his place as one of Cuba's great baseball ambassadors. Though his playing career was largely confined to the Cuban National Series, Dueñas's contributions to Cuban baseball and his role in the global recognition of Cuban talent cannot be overstated. He left an indelible mark on the sport, and his legacy lives on through the players he mentored and the championships he helped his teams win. In summary, Yobal Dueñas's story is one of talent, perseverance, and passion for baseball. His peak came in the early 2000s, during a time when Cuba's baseball dominance was unquestioned, and his contributions both on the mound and as a mentor to future generations of Cuban players have ensured that his legacy in the sport will endure for many years.